assets. If you are in a high-risk industry and you need to get funding, you can also use the parent company by using the high-risk industry, moving the profits up via a management fee to the parent company, and that will allow you to get funding. You can also use a parent company if you're trying to get funding, but maybe each business doesn't qualify. So let's just say the requirement is $10,000 a month, but you only have one alone they don't make $10,000, but together they will bring in $10,000. So we can move these profits up via what's called a management fee, and that way we'll be able to get funding in our parent company. And you want to make sure that all the corporate formalities are followed, because if anything happens down here and they're not followed, they're going to come up to our parent company, and we do not want that. Now, to put all of this together, you would own a trust. Your trust would own the parent company, and the parent company would then own your baby LLCs. The holding company always owns the assets separate from everything else. So, Eric gets really sick. He goes in the hospital for 6 months. He's not able to pay all of the bills because he's in the hospital sick. So his son has to leave from going to private school because there's no income coming in. Eric eventually ends up dying, and his wife does not have access to his bank accounts and can't pay the mortgage. Therefore, he loses his home as they're trying to probate his will. That brings us to trust. A trust is just going to be a legal agreement, a piece of paper. But a trust is anonymous, meaning no one can Google and look up to see who owns the property in a trust. There's going to be two types of trust: a revocable living trust and an irrevocable trust. A revocable living trust is going to protect your assets upon your death, but while you are alive, you do not have any asset protection. So if you put a property, if you put your bank account, your home, your vehicle in the trust, you're able to move the property out. You're able to encumber the property. You still have control of the property, although it's in the trust. That's why you don't have any asset protection while you are alive. But the benefit is upon your death, your heirs, your beneficiaries immediately get the assets. Unlike in a will, if you were to die, your will has to go through probate court. That's going to be probate court fees, and it's going to be time delayed. Normally it takes about 6 months to a year to be able to probate a will. So what you want to do, you want to make sure that you have what's called a revocable living trust so that your heirs can get your assets immediately. Like how when Eric died, his wife was unable to touch the bank account because she had to go through probate court. If Eric had a trust, she would have immediately been able to access that bank account and been able to save the home. Okay. Now, the bulletproof trust is going to be called an irrevocable living trust. Once you put an asset in here, it's protected. Once you put an asset in here, it's protected. However, you no longer have any kind of control over the asset. You can't move the asset. You can't take a loan out on the asset. You can't do anything with the asset. So a lot of times, business owners prefer a holding company because they still have access or control over the asset. But once it goes in here, it's protected. Another benefit is going to be upon your death, when your heirs get your assets, those assets remain separate property. The assets remain separate property, meaning if you were to pass down real estate, if you were to pass down things to your kids, and your child happens to marry the wrong person, how I did, though they will not lose those assets in a divorce. They're going to always remain your heirs or your child's separate property. That's the benefit of an irrevocable trust. So what most people do is they'll have a revocable living trust while they're alive, and then upon their death, they'll have it transfer onto an irrevocable living trust. So those are the different tools that you can use to protect your assets. So some estate planning basics would be you want to have your trust. You want to have a medical power of attorney. If something were to happen to you, who's going to have a say so as to are we pulling the plug? Are we having the surgery? You want to have a financial power of attorney. You may want your mom to be your medical power of attorney because she just loves you and she knows what you want. But mom may have a bingo problem, right? And we don't want her over the money. So a financial power of attorney is if something were to happen to you, who's going to have control over your money? You want to also make sure that every bank account has what's called a beneficiary. Upon your death, you're already appointing someone that will have access to those accounts, be able to get your money and pay whatever bills need to be paid. And of course, life insurance is what we need to have. And take a screenshot of this. This would be our estate planning basics. Now, I went over how we're going to protect our assets. Now we have to actually acquire the assets. Now we have to start getting some assets to protect. So now I'm going to pass it over to you, Boone, to break down how we're going to acquire real estate and other assets.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Yo, before we go ahead and get into the real estate and those different types of assets, I need everybody in here to go ahead and say thank you, Joy, for that full-blown presentation. I'm not gonna lie, I was sitting there thinking it kind of scared me for a second when you said the guy passed away, couldn't have the money. I was just like, dang, like this is really real. But these are things that we have to think about. Ramel says this all the time. It's not if it's going to happen, it's when it's going to happen. Our time is going to end at one point, but you want to make sure things are set up when that time comes. You want to make sure you have money set aside. You want to make sure you have assets set aside. You want to make sure these things are in order so your family isn't scrambling. I'm going to be honest with you guys. A lot of people, and maybe some of you guys, a lot of people are my best customers, are my best clients. And what I mean by that is I buy properties off people that their paperwork isn't right. Mom passes down the property. The kids are like, yo, the taxes, the property now, they got a mortgage, they got all these things going on. So they look, I can't afford this. Can we just sell it? And I buy it for pennies on a dollar just to cover the debt and the fees because they didn't have everything set up right. It's just literally how it goes. Someone always when it comes to the real estate, their paperwork isn't right, the bills aren't set up right, the assets, it gotta go through probate. What she's saying is my real life, but I'm on the other end of the field where I'm actually receiving the benefit of people not putting their stuff together. So when I tell you guys, you have to have your stuff in order because I don't want you to be my next client. I really, really don't at all. I don't want you to be my next client, and I don't want you to be. I want my son, you to be my son's next client. He's buying properties off you guys, so I need you guys to make sure your stuff is in order. Everybody put order in the chat. Everybody put order in the chat. All right, so let's go ahead and get this thing started. So, I want to go ahead and introduce myself because I know pretty much nobody on here knows who I am. So, I want to give you guys a nice, good introduction. My name is Derek. I'm a real estate investor in Philadelphia. I own millions and millions and millions of dollars worth of real estate as currently, and I've done way over 8 figures in real estate transactions. And the reason why I want to state that is let you guys know I'm qualified. Everybody put qualified in the chat. I have been a real estate agent, then I went to wholesale, I went from wholesaling to investing, and I've been doing investing ever since. Been literally buying houses, flipping houses, renting houses, the Airbnb thing, the VRBO thing, the event space, all the things that you guys can think of, I have personally done. So that is why I am 100% qualified to be in front of you guys right now to show you guys specifically how to go ahead and do this and how you can do this quickly and how you can do this efficiently. Everybody put efficient in the chat because it's more than just, oh, I'm gonna just learn how to do some real estate. It's more important how to do it the correct way. The same way Joy just showed you guys how to do the asset protection and set the trust up, to set the holding company and set the irrevocable, all that stuff done the right way. It is important to go ahead and buy the asset the right way as well because you don't want to put a bad asset into a trust. That's backwards. Imagine setting up the whole trust. Imagine doing all that stuff, but then you buy a bad asset. You're literally just putting a bad move into a good opportunity. It makes no sense at all. So we got to make sure we official with these things. But just want to show you guys something really important before I share this is hold on, wait. Make sure you guys can see the screen. Make sure you guys see the screen. Before we go ahead and get started, this is literally me back in 2016 before we got started. And the reason why I want to show you guys this specific picture is because a lot of people see me now and they're like, oh, he's doing what he needs to do. He's doing what he wants to do. He has the house, he has this. But that's not how it always started. And it's not like this was 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 15, 20. Like this is literally back in 2016. This is me working in my job. I worked at a retirement home where I was making $10 an hour. My job was to serve the elderly. So my job was to get in the prune juice, the applesauce, the food, all the things. The matzah bread was a Jewish, pretty much Jewish retirement home, and my job was to give them all the things that they needed and they wanted. And I got to the point where I was pretty much just fed up, and I'm like, "Yo, I can't do this anymore. This just can't go. This can't be life. Making $600, $700 every 2 weeks just can't be it." Comment fed up in the chat if you guys are fed up. You know exactly what I'm talking about. So I made up my mind. I made a full decision where today is the last day I'm gonna be living like this. Even though the money didn't directly turn over that day, but my mentality turned over that day. And that's the most important thing. People think like, yo, the check is gonna go from Monday to Tuesday. My check's gonna be night and day. It doesn't work like that. But Monday to Tuesday, your whole mentality can be different. So back in 2016, I made up my mind I would never live like this again. I'm gonna do everything in my power. I'm gonna use those lunch breaks like you saw right there to read real estate books, to learn real estate, listen to podcasts, do everything I need to do. December 2017, I had made 6 figures in real estate. So think about that. Just locking in and changing that mentality is the first step. I believe in something more than anything is learn. It's mindset, learn and earn. Your mindset has to be right. Then you learn the information, then you earn it after that. Drop a fire emoji if you caught that. Mindset, learn and earn. You get your mindset right. Then you learn the information, then you go ahead and earn off of that. And one of the reasons why I chose real estate specifically is because one, I didn't have a college degree. I didn't have a whole corporate background. The job I worked at before this was McDonald's. So I didn't have a strong resume. So real estate was one of those things that I love so much because I can put anybody on. You don't need a doctor degree. You don't need a high resume. You don't need a whole bunch of money. You don't need all those things to get started. But also real estate is the gift that keeps on giving. Real estate is one of those things where you can literally get paid now and you can get paid later. Everybody put pay now, pay later. It's one of those businesses where you can get paid now and you can go ahead and get paid later. And I want to share something with you guys, right? What I mean specifically is I can get paid off of things now, but then also I can make sure things are getting paid later. So this is literally a property. I just closed on a property last week for my son. So this is a deal that we're not only going to be getting paid now, he's going to be making money now, but then also he's going to be making money later down the road. And for y'all that it's like, oh man, buying a property for my child, that's lit, that's dope. And let me know in the chat if that's decent. But a lot of people are like, but I don't have $50,000 to put down. I don't have $100,000 to buy. I don't have to do all these things. This is literally, I want to show you guys really quickly right here. This is how much I had to put down to go ahead and buy the property. Think about it. I had to put down $8,275. Comment me in the chat. You have that in your account. You have that on a credit card. You have it on a 401k. You have that on a retirement account. You have that money just sitting available in some way, form, or fashion. Comment me in the chat. So when you start looking at it, it's like, yo, why don't I just go ahead and do this? Why don't I just invest? Why don't I just build wealth? Why don't I just buy assets? Why don't I just do different things like this? Because it's not like it costs a whole lot. Some of you guys spent more than that on a vacation. Some of you guys spent more than that on shopping. Some of you guys spent more than that on luxury items. So it's like that is only good for the exact moment, but I can buy something and invest into something that's good for right now. Even if you wanted to go ahead and take the profits from that property now and then give it to your kid later on down the road, me, I'm gonna take the profits and give it to him now for forever. But you could do what you want to do. It's the asset that can pays now and you could pay later. So I want to show you guys specifically how I'm able to get these assets and how I'm able to do it at that low barrier entry. And one of the things, and so you guys can understand, where is my pen at? So you guys know the way we're setting this whole thing up is by utilizing, oh, 1 second. There we go. The way we setting these things up is by utilizing certain formulas. And these formulas is how we're able to go ahead and make sure, one, we don't lose in real estate, and two, we always make sure we make money in real estate. Comment ready in the chat if you guys ready for this, because this is not one of those classes where you're going to sit and get lectured. You guys are actually going to do some work today. You actually want to learn some stuff. You actually want to do some formulas. You actually, specific with me, you guys want to do a little bit of math. So comment ready in the chat if you guys ready for this. And we're going to break this stuff down. Bingo. So in order to go ahead and be able to buy properties, but more specifically buy them and not have to put a whole bunch of money down, we have to work with certain lenders, but more specifically, we have to follow a certain formula that makes the lender wants to work with us. Comment understand if you guys understand how that might went over it. Utilize certain formulas where the lender actually wants to work with us. So what we do is we utilize a formula, and I'm gonna break this down to you guys, called the 65% formula. And some of you guys probably never heard of this before, and it is literally a simple formula that we use in every property we buy. It makes sense. The lend makes sense for the lenders, it makes sense for the banks, it makes sense for us. Got it? So what that means is we go ahead and take this one number which stands for which is ARV, and we multiply by 65%. And somebody in here is probably like, what the heck is ARV? That don't even make sense. So what ARV simply means is after repair, and one second. Of course it would do this. It stands for after. We got the word. It stands for after repair. Ooh, we got some people in the room that already know something. It stands for after repair value. So what that essentially means is, what is the house worth when it's fully fixed up? So you guys know how you may be looking at houses on Zillow. Comment me if you guys do that. You look at houses on Zillow that are for sale. You're like, man, that house is nice for sale. It's for sale for 500, it's for sale for 300, it's for sale for 600. Well, when that house actually sells, that is the number that you can base off of whatever house is around. So if your house is 123 Main Street and 127 Main Street sold for $300,000, then you could say, okay, my house could be worth $300,000 because the house on my block sold for $300,000. As long as it's apples for apples, same bedrooms, same bathrooms, then we can go ahead and compare those and say, okay, when I fix my house up really nice, like that one did, then my house is gonna be worth $300,000. Comment got it in the chat if you guys got that. All right, so now what we do is we take that number and we multiply that by 65%. So for the sake of conversation, you guys, we just use that $300,000 as a example. Somebody in the chat, what is 300,000 times 65%? I told you guys you're gonna have to work with me today. We're going to do a little work. Somebody take $300,000 and times about 65%. All you gotta do is take 300,000, we times about 65% in a calculator. What we got? People be like, damn, this guy really be having us working. 195, exactly, $195,000. So what we do is, bingo, here we go. So what we do is we take, for that example, it was 300,000. We timed it by the 65%, and we have 195K. $195,000. So what that 195 simply means is my all in. Everybody put all in the chat. So that means I need to be able to buy the house and fix it up all within this math. So that means I can buy it for 100 grand, put 95,000 into it. I can buy it for 95, put 100 grand into it. I can buy it for 190 and put 5 grand into it. I can buy it for $5,000 and put $190,000 worth of work into it. I don't care how you break it up. I don't care how you chop it down. I don't care how the cookie crumbles. I don't care how it works. As long as you fit inside that formula, that's all that matters. Drop a fire emoji if you guys got that. And what happens is when you follow this math, when you follow this specific formula, right? Now, the lender is going to say, okay, you have so much equity, you have so much of a good deal in your hands. There's the least amount of risk when it comes to working with you on this specific project that they're willing to do something called 100% financing or even 90% financing. So I want to show you guys what that specifically looks like right here. So this is, so you guys can see, this is a deal we just closed. This is the deal I bought for my son. I just showed you guys. And this is from a value standpoint. This loan looks like it makes sense for eligible for 100% finance. You see my name, September 16th. This is the deal. I literally just closed for him last week. And I was able to go ahead and cover 100% of the cost. So the whole purchase price, the whole renovation, they gave me the money to fix up the house. And they gave me the money to go ahead and buy it. All I had to do, that 8 grand, was just my taxes, my fees, and my insurance. Drop a fire emoji, you guys, on that. All I had to do was cover my taxes, my fees, and my insurance, and that is where the $8,000 came from. They covered every single thing else. So when you understand, okay, all I got to do is follow this same formula, is copy and paste. I can keep my houses, and all I have to worry about is coming out of pocket pennies, which that little bit of money, that $8,000 can actually come off a credit card as well. But it gets good. Everybody put more in the chat, but it gets better. So now what happens is, we all in on this house. So for this specific deal, I'm gonna break down the exact math for that house. So the ARV on this house is $160,000. So somebody said 160 times about 65%. Quick. I literally got like 8 minutes left. Quick. Somebody take 160 and times about 65%. It's got 7 minutes left. What's the math? 104. So $104,000. So what the lender said is, as long as I can buy it and I can fix it up in this. So I bought this house, so you guys know full transparency. I bought this house for $36,000 and we put in about 65K into that. What is that math really quickly? What is 65,000 plus 36,000? And I'll help you guys out with that just so we can go ahead and move forward. So we got 36,000 plus $65,000. That equals $101,000. So here's the thing. The lender said, I just need to be under 104. I'm under 10. I'm at 101. Everybody put makes sense in the chat. It super makes sense. 100% makes sense. So now I'm gonna be all in on this house for $101,000, but now it's worth 160 grand. I'm all in 101, but it's worth $160,000. So then what I go ahead and do is everybody put more. Now this is how we actually gonna start making our money, like cash in our pockets. So the next step we do is something called a cash out refinance, a cash out refinance. So what the cash out refinance is, we take that $160,000. Now we got the new house. The house is beautiful. It's all nice. 3 bedrooms, 1 bath, beautiful, nice floors. Everything is situated, ready to go ahead and put a new tenant in there. And then now we're gonna go to the bank and a new bank, and we're gonna say, hey, look, big bank buy out little bank. Hey, this big bank, I need you to give me a loan to pay off my old loan, but I need to take a little bit of money out. Everybody take out. So I take that, and what the big bank is going to say, they're going to say, hey, we'll give you 75% of whatever that house is worth, and that's the new loan we're going to give you. Exactly. Y'all paying attention. So now with that $160,000, we times it by 75%, and now that math is, somebody put in the chat 120. That math is $120,000 that they are willing to give me max. So I can take up to $120,000 out of this house, but I'm all in $101,000. So the difference between 120 and 101 is what? Somebody tell me right now. The difference between 120 and 101 is what? Exactly. It's $19,000. So what essentially happens is after I pay about $2,000 or $3,000 in fees, they're going to give me that net difference, which may be about $16,000 or $17,000 is going to get wired directly into my bank account, or it's going to be wired directly to my son's bank account. And the thing about this money, because it is a loan, it is tax free. We do not have to pay any taxes on lended money. Because this is a loan, it is tax free. We do not have to pay any taxes on lending money. So now my son is going, or I could take it for myself, but for this specific deal, I'm passing over to my son. Now he's going to have an additional $16,000, $17,000 lump sum drop directly in his account. Somebody drop a fire emoji, you guys with me on that. That he or me or nobody has to pay taxes on specifically. But then everybody put in the chat, there's more. Everybody put in the chat, there's more. When we take out a new loan on a house, we have something called a mortgage. When you have a loan on a house, you have to pay something every single month, which is called a mortgage. On this specific property, and I'm gonna show you guys really quick. I already did the math for y'all. For this specific property, the mortgage payment on this house is going anywhere between $800 and $900. Anywhere between $800 and $900, right? So I already did this, is estimated to be around $803. So what we do is we take this $800 payment. This is going to be the mortgage payment on this property every single month. And then now we go ahead and rent it out. But first question is, what do we rent it out at? How much can I get for rents? I'm really a little confused about that. I don't know exactly how to go ahead and do that. I don't even know how much to charge for rent. We make this even easier. It's 2025. We have AI, we have websites for every single thing. If you are working super hard, you're racking your brain on things, it's because you're just not in the right rooms. You're in the right room right now, so I'm gonna give you guys a direct website. So what we do is we go to this website called rentsometer.com. I'm not gonna give you guys the exact address, but I'm gonna do something close by. Go to rentsometer.com. This is a free website. We just type in the address, we type in the bedrooms, we type in the bathrooms, we click house, and we hit check rents. Now, just on average rents that they say on average, the median, that houses rent for $1,600 a month in this area. So specifically in this area, specifically on this block, houses can rent for $1,600 a month. So now let's go ahead and do the math as well. If I'm getting $1,600 a month in rent, and then we take away the mortgage, that means my son is going to be able to get $800 a month in cash flow that we can go ahead and move into life insurance, stocks, or we can just save it. I don't care how you do it, but now it's set up. So when you go ahead and say, look, listen, wealth is hard, building wealth is hard, building wealth is difficult, or look, listen, I don't have the money to do that. It's not that you don't have the money, it's that you don't have the information. But at this point, you guys had the information. Comment correct in the chat if you guys right, if you guys understand it. If you know for a fact that you had the information there, or you just have a little bit more information that you did last week or last night or 2 hours ago, comment correct in the chat. So now it's to the point where he is going to have an additional $17,000 in account on top of going into the next couple months, having an additional $800 coming in every single month that we can go ahead and put into life insurance, stocks, saving, however we want to go ahead and do it, that's going to be available. So when you don't go ahead and build wealth for yourself or build wealth for your child, it's literally, it does not make sense because it's like we did all this off of 8 grand. And I already asked you guys in the chat, a lot of you guys said I had that money available in some way, form, or fashion. And if you know that you can get access to $8,000 or $10,000 within the next 90 days, within the next 6 months, put me in the chat. Not gonna lie, I've taken a whole class before, but you broke this down way better. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. It's not complicated, just we gotta go ahead and take our time to actually learn it. Me. Everybody in here said that they can go ahead and build, they can get an extra $8,000 to $10,000 in some form or fashion within the next 90 days. That means everybody in here can go ahead and build an extra $200,000, $300,000 in assets in the next 90 days. Perfect. So I want to pass it over to my brother Ramel, which he's going to show you how to take us to the next level and the next step by utilizing the life insurance to put this together. But I need everybody to put a fire emoji in the chat if you guys enjoyed this, if you learned a little bit, if you're like, yo, listen, this is worth my Sunday night. Because I already know we're going to get hit with the question, is this live? Is this live? It's 7:40 p.m. tonight. It is a Sunday night. It's October 5th. I need you guys. Some of you guys probably already paid me or paid my son rent today. I don't know who tenants in here, but tonight is October 5th, Sunday, 7:40 p.m. And now I'm about to pass it over to my brother Ramel, where he's going to show you how to take this $800 a month and put it into money that makes more money. What you like to say? Makes money babies. So go back to the floor.
That's a fact. That's a fact. Everybody drop a fire emoji in the chat for Boom. It's a different kind of flex when you said like I'm buying my son a house, like not just one house, multiple houses. Like I need somebody type legacy in the chat, man, because that's what this truly is about. And
Hold on one second, bro. Hold on, just so they can see, because sometimes people are like, "Yo, listen, like sometimes we got to see it to believe it, or we got to see it to hit that emotional." I feel like when you want to make money, you got to attach emotion to it.
Facts.
So this is the emotion I want to attach to it for you guys, right? I uploaded this earlier today so you guys can see.
Wow. Careful. Wow. Check nephew out.
Full disclosure, he has no clue what's going on. He's just around, but but bro, you had the floor. I just want to make sure everybody understands it is an emotion, it is a purpose attached to the money-making things that we are doing.
Yes, sir. Proud of you, bro. And that's what we want to do. We want to help you do the exact same thing for your family, right? Like somebody type me in the chat if you would be happy if your parent left you a property, or if you're able to leave a property for your child, right? Somebody just type me in the chat. And what I want y'all to do, there's an option where you could comment and tag everyone, or you could tag host and panelists. A lot of y'all comment, but y'all communicating directly to the host and panelists. So I want you to just kind of click that tab and make sure everyone can see the communication, because there's a room full of action takers, a room full of people that's hungry to change their situation, y'all. So Joy gave you the blueprint on estate planning, how to properly structure your business, how to make sure when you do buy these assets that you are protected. Somebody type protected in the chat. That's very important, because you can make a lot of money and somebody go grab it from you because we didn't have the right paperwork, right? We didn't have the right processes. We didn't do the right estate planning. And then Boone showed you how to now, with as little as $8,000 or really no money out of your pocket, you can be able to go out there and buy an asset that's worth $300,000, that's worth $200,000, $100,000, to be able to now have it within that trust, within that estate planning. But can I give y'all a little bit more? Can I give y'all a little bit more? If I can give y'all a little bit more, somebody type more in the chat. Somebody type more in the chat. Y'all here with us on this Sunday evening. So we want to make sure that we give you as much as we can. So with that being said, what I want to share with you is how you could actually utilize the money that you make from investing in your first property, your second property, your third, fourth property, and put that money into insurance. Somebody type family bank in the chat. Family bank. That's what I want you to do. I want to teach you how to create your family bank through insurance. And not only that, how to now make that money work for you multiple times. Like Boone said, money babies, right? So now I'm going to put that money in insurance and I'm going to borrow, I'm going to leverage to be able to go out there and invest to get more income. That is the wealth blueprint. That is the framework that we want to break down to you. So before I get started really quick and give y'all all of this game, make sure you locked in with me. But I want to ask this question. Put a 1 in the chat if you're familiar with me. Put a 2 in the chat if you don't know me from a can of paint. You're like, who is this guy coming in here? What's going on? Put a 1 in the chat if you are familiar with me. Put a 2 in the chat if you don't know me from a can of paint. I just want to make sure that I'm speaking directly to what's really needed. All right. Cool. So we got some 2s, we got some 1s, we got some 2s, we got some 1s. So for those of you that do not know me, actually unshare my screen and do this again because for some reason it's not sharing. Let's do this one more time. All right, let's do this one more time. All right, can y'all see my screen? Put a 1 in the chat, you can see my screen. All right, perfect. So for those of you that do not know me, my name is Ramel Newworlds. I am 33 years old, born and raised in Brooklyn, New York. And my story is like anybody else, man. I'm no different than nobody on this call. I come from poverty, welfare, food stamps, free lunch, you name it. I lived in a 3-bedroom apartment with 13 relatives. I'm talking about sleeping head to toe, y'all. If you can relate to that, somebody type relate in the chat. Some of y'all may come from millions, but not me. And the only reason I'm sharing this because I'm going to break down some key concepts that may not even seem that is possible for you, but I want you to know that it wasn't always this way. Somebody type finish in the chat because it's not about how you start, it's about how you finish. And I've been able to build a $10 million self-storage business, $20 million in family wealth. And my mission is to teach entrepreneurs how to go out there and buy businesses creatively. And one of the creative strategies that I use is insurance, y'all. And I'm not somebody that just popped up yesterday. You know, I've been doing this over the last 12 years of entrepreneurship, really building step by step, brick by brick, and just really building up my cash flow. And I'm only showing y'all this really quick just because I want you to be inspired. Somebody type inspire in the chat. I want you to see yourself in me. I want you to see yourself in Boone. I want you to see yourself in Joy and be like, look, they all come from different walks of life, but they was all able to arrive at the destination. And the destination is right here in front of you where we able to share our experiences to help you get to your goals that much faster because that's all we want to do. We want to make sure we cut your learning curve in half. And these are the things that I've been able to do because I've mastered a system. Somebody type system in the chat. The system that I've been able to master, I'm going to share with you. And it stands for saving yourself significant time, energy, and money, y'all. See, I've been able to build a brand over 500,000 subscribers across all of my platforms, being interviewed on national television. You know, I've been able to take private planes, you know, retire my wife, fire my boss, all of these cool things. And I'm only breaking this down really quick because I want you to know why I'm so passionate about the information I'm going to share with you. So when I get super excited, like just know that this information truly has changed my life and I know it will change your life. Somebody type me in the chat if you're going to let this information create a transformation for you, y'all. Look at this picture right here on the left-hand side, right? I purchased my dream car, $300,000 Lamborghini, and that's cute. But like, I want you to look past this to Lamborghini. It's not even about the car. I want you to look at the self-storage business behind me. That's what's most important. See, I was able to buy that self-storage business creatively with no money out of my pocket, and that self-storage business pays for my Lamborghini. And when I say paying for my Lamborghini, I actually pay myself back because I was able to buy the car out cash utilizing my insurance. Some of y'all scratching your head like, yo, what does this even mean, y'all? What does this even mean? Does it even make sense? Look, I'm going to break it down for y'all, all right? Type ready in the chat. You ready for me to break this down for you, show you how we're able to utilize insurance as our vehicle to go and invest. This is what we want to do. We're going to break down the wealthy framework. So this is how we're going to do it. Am I able to share my screen? Let's see here. Let's see here. Gotta make me a panelist. Gotta make me a panelist. Let's get it. Let's get it. There we go. There we go. There we go. All right, perfect. We're in the building. We in the building. We are in the building, y'all. So with that being said, if you could see my whiteboard, just type yes in the chat if you could see my whiteboard. Type yes in the chat if you can see my whiteboard. All right, perfect. So this is the wealthy framework. Now, there's different types of insurance, and we have multiple vehicles for multiple reasons. I'm just going to break down 3 of the vehicles that we use and that's most popular. So number 1, you have term insurance, right? And term insurance is the most affordable insurance and is typically for someone that's looking to just get insured for a certain period of time. So typically a term policy can go from 10 to 20 years, and you can put up as little as $100 a month to get $1 million policy. So in the event that you actually pass away, because we're not getting how they're alive, how would you feel if your loved one left you $1 million to go out there and continue the family legacy? Let me know in the chat. See, we know we're going to pass away anyway. We might as well make sure that we are passing down wealth for as little as $100 a month. Who can afford that? To be able to pass down their child $1 million. Now, I want the biggest thing that we need to understand is that with term insurance, you're only paid out when you die. So it's to protect you for when you die, and there's no cash value. But just like Boone talked about, he bought these properties for his son and he leveraged debt, he leveraged mortgages. We also use the term to be able to pay off free and clear assets. I'm going to show it to you how. So let's say Boone buys this property right here for his son, right? This is this cash flowing property that Boone purchased for his son. For example purposes, let's just say that property has $100,000 in debt, which is a mortgage. Let's say for any reason, right, something happens to Boone, he now has this term policy of $1 million. Well, out of that 1 million, they're going to take $100,000 and pay off that property free and clear. So now his son gets 900,000 cash plus a free and clear property. Let me know if that makes sense. Type yes in the chat if that makes sense. Just imagine you are able to just simply invest $100. And guess what? The $100 a month that Boone will be paying for this policy is going to be covered from the cash flow of that rental property. So essentially, you're getting a free $1 million. I hope y'all picking up what I put down. Yeah, I hope y'all picking this up. Let's keep rolling. So not only do we have term insurance, and this could apply for someone that may have some health scares, right? Some of us, we know somebody who's battling cancer. We know somebody who has a life-altering injury, a major car accident. What happens if you are no longer able to go out there and work? Well, you're going to need some type of insurance to help you cover your bills. So this is why this is important for us, y'all. We want to make sure we set for life. Now, not only that, we have whole life and we have index universal life insurance. One of the key differences between whole life and term is that you get what is called cash value, which means the money that's in that policy is going to grow compounded interest over time. Now, this policy is going to be a little bit more expensive because it's permanent. It's for the entire duration of your life. Somebody type life in the chat. It does not expire. So it may cost you $500 a month for that $1 million policy. But if you go and buy a property like Boone just talked about, and the cash flow from the property covers your policy, now you got $1 million added an asset value. Does that make sense? Somebody type me in the chat if you cool with having a rental property pay for $1 million whole life policy that you can actually leverage when it grows in cash value. Another thing that I love about this whole life and the IUL is, again, you can actually borrow from it. So again, let's just say Boone has $100,000 inside this policy, cash value. He can actually go and get a line of credit against his policy for another $100,000, right? Excuse my writing, y'all. Right? He can go get another line of credit for $100,000 to go invest. And he's never going to lose money. And this is all tax free. These are wealth principles. But if you don't know how to play the game, you're going to never win. That's why we always losing or we on the bench, because we don't even know how to play the game. And we just getting up every single day going about our business. This is why we put together the wealthy experience, y'all. Now, type of 1 in the chat if you have your money in the 401k. Type 1 in the chat if you have a 401k. I am going to break the news to you. This is the worst place you can have your money. This is a money trap for your finances. It is only beneficial to your employer, and I'm going to tell you why. See, you put all of your money in the 401k and you have very limited access. You have to wait until you're 59 and a half to be able to get your money out. So if you're 25, 30, 45, 50, well, do you believe that you could actually make more money? Let's say you got $100,000 in this 401k and you got to wait till you 59 and a half to get it out. And let's say you 30 years old. Do you think that you can make way more money within 20 years than having it sit in your 401k? Let me know in the chat. I need to ask this direct question, because if you implement what Boone is talking about, you'll be able to make 10 times that within 20 years instead of letting somebody else control your money and tell you when you could get it. And then this is the other piece that make me sick. I'm sorry, y'all. See, let's say you have $100,000 in there and it grows to $300,000. You're going to get taxed on the growth. So the longer you have the money in there, yes, it grows, but you'll get taxed 30, 40% on the money whenever you do take it out, even if you're over 59 and a half. So really, you damn near work for free about 10 to 15 years. It makes it, thank you, Patricia, you know. So this doesn't make any sense for me to work damn near free. It only benefits the company that has the 401k, a bunch of management fees, all of these market risks. So the truth is, I'm going to recommend, if you have your money in a 401k, you need to get that money out of that 401k ASAP. Somebody type ASAP in the chat, and we need to move it into other vehicles, y'all. Are y'all with me? Are y'all with me? I want to make this clear, right? See, wealthy people, we don't spend money. What we do is invest money and then move it. That's the blueprint. We don't spend, we invest and move it. So we invest into a business, invest into a property, invest into an asset, move the profits into a vehicle that's going to give us some compounded interest, whether it's insurance, whether it's a high yield savings account, whether it's the market. Your money keeps moving, because a dollar that's not moving is a dollar that's losing. Are y'all with me on that? A dollar that's not moving is a dollar that you are losing, y'all. So let's keep rolling. Some of y'all thinking, okay, let's say I took my money out my 401k and I put it in insurance and I do want to leverage it. What do I do next? I got you. I got you. So this is what we do next. See, there's two ways that you can build wealth. You got two types of people. You have person A that chooses to earn their way to wealth instead of owning their way to wealth. Put a 1 in the chat if you are somebody that want to earn their way to wealth. Put a 2 in the chat if you want to own your way to wealth. I'm going to break it down, y'all. See, the person that earns their way to wealth, they go out there and start a new business from scratch. And what they don't know is that 90% of businesses fail within the first 10 years, y'all. I'm going to be honest with y'all. This is what they won't tell you. Why does most businesses fail 90% within the first 10 years? It's because of lack of capital. It is because the lack of systems. It is the lack of fulfillment. These are all the things that happen because you don't have money. You can't afford to pay a good team. And I'm not saying that it's not possible for you to make millions starting a new business. I'm just really telling you the real statistics that this only happens for 10% of the people. And the 10% are only the people that's willing to go through the time that it takes to get this thing done. Can I talk to y'all real quick? Put me in the chat if over the last 5 years you invested and you paid for a course, a program, and you learn how to start a trendy business, but you now are no longer in that business. It didn't work out because it was here today, gone tomorrow. It was hot all of a sudden, then it died because it wasn't something that was proven. See, what we like to do is invest in businesses and assets that's proven. What Boone is sharing is proven. What I'm sharing with you is proven. So what I want to share with you is, okay, the faster route, and somebody type fast in the chat. To build wealth and add $300,000 or more asset value, you're going to buy an existing business that is already making money. And we want not buy any business. We want a business that's 10 years old or more. We want a business that's already making $10,000 a month cash flow day one. Somebody type day one in the chat. We want a business that already has systems in place. We want a business that already have the marketing in place. We want a business that already have customers. Why do I need to go and reinvent the wheel when I can buy somebody else's time? Are y'all following me? Wealthy people buy other people's time, utilizing other people's money. Okay. Some of you probably thinking, well, Mogul, why would somebody sell me a business that's making $10,000 to have systems and marketing? It don't make sense. I get it. I get this question all the time. And I'm going to tell you why. There's a term called baby boomers, y'all. Baby boomers, right? And baby boomers are individuals who were born between 1940 and 1960. And these individuals are looking to retire, right? They've been in the business 20, 30 years. They're ready to retire and pass it down to somebody like you to be able to go out there and buy that business. And it may not even be retirement. You have some owners who are just going through a divorce and they need to liquidate. You may have some business owners that have health issues and they need to get out of the business. You have some people that want to just do another career change. It's multiple reasons on why somebody would sell their business. It doesn't mean that it's not making money. Are y'all with me? Are y'all with me? It does not mean that. So you could actually go on platforms like bizbuysell.com. This is one of the platforms, bizbuysell.com. You can go on this platform and you can buy a business and find businesses and negotiate them and acquire them with no money out of your pocket. Are y'all with me? Are y'all with me? Just let me know in the chat. Can I show y'all something real quick? Because a lot of times this stuff, like we think this stuff is not really possible. It don't make no sense. If I could show y'all something, somebody type show me in the chat. I want to show something real quick. If this could open up on my phone, because I want to make sure we understand how this actually works. Let's see here. Cool. I want to show y'all this really quick. And if y'all getting some game so far, I want you to drop a fire emoji in the chat. Has this been valuable for you so far this last 60 minutes? Has this been valuable for you? Let me show y'all this really quick, all right? So I'm just pulling it up, and I got y'all. Where we at with it? All right, cool. So I'm gonna give you, because again, people think this stuff is not real, right? People think this stuff is not real, so I want to make sure you understand that this is a real thing that we do, all right? So for those of you that can see this, right, this is one of my policies, right? And I'll scroll up, scroll right here. As you can see, the death benefit is $1.5 million, right? You see that death benefit, right? You see that? So when that time comes, my trust is going to get 1.5, and this is just one policy. We got multiple. But what I really want you to look at is this right here, that cash value, that $319,000. If you could see that, somebody type yes in the chat. If you could see this. If you could see this. $319,000. That's what we call cash value. So this is how it works. That $319,000 is what I'm able to leverage. I'm able to pull out, and I'm able to buy more businesses, buy self-storage businesses, buy dry cleaners, laundromats, multiple cash flowing businesses, buy more real estate. Somebody type me in the chat if you want to execute on this strategy. You feel like this is the missing piece. You feel like this is the missing piece. So I got a question for you. If you feel like this was the missing piece, do I have your permission to share an opportunity with you so you can learn more? Where you could actually get a little bit more information from Joy, from Boom, myself, be able to ask us more questions, get more intimate, to be able to understand in full, because we only had an hour completely free. Do I have your permission? If I don't have your permission, then I'm not even going to share what I got for y'all. I'm not even going to share what we have for y'all. I need to know that I have your permission to be able to take you to the next level, because I will be doing you a disservice. Joy, Boom will be doing you a disservice if we were to sit here and give you all of this value and not give you an opportunity. Okay, let me ask more questions. Hey, Joy, can you break down the trust and the power of attorney and the living will? Can you go a little further? Hey, Boom, can you show me exactly how I can do that with my son? $8,000. Wow. Can you show me what credit card to go? Mogul, can you show me the policies? Can you look at my financial situation? Because it's not a one size fits all. They said share it. So I want to bring up Boone. I want to bring up Joy. I want to have y'all present this opportunity with me, right? See, what I want to do, and it's with the blessing of Miss Joy Hunt and Derek Boone right here along with me, all three of us. What we want to do is give you an opportunity to join us for our accelerated wealth mentorship. And this is 1 week long where we're gonna go in full detail, where you'll get a day with me specifically, not just 20 minutes. I'm talking about a day specifically. I can go in detail with cash flowing businesses. I can go in detail with insurance. 1 full day with Boom, where he can go in detail with buying properties creatively. 1 full day where you can go with Joy. She can break down estate plan and business structure, plus more. Somebody type me in the chat if you're interested in that. For our accelerated wealth mentorship, a week long, you're going to be able to get this type of information because, again, we want to help you get to your goal fast. That's what this is about. You want to make 6 figures, 7 figures, or grow what you have? Let's just cut that process down to half. That's all we want to do. And I'm about to drop this link really quick, but guess what, y'all? I want to do a few things. Our accelerated wealth mentorship program, a week-long program, it's an investment of only $397, y'all. Somebody type only $397 in the chat. Somebody type only $397 in the chat. Only $397 to be able to join us in a week-long accelerated mentorship program, y'all. So if you're ready for us to drop the link, drop the link in the chat. If you're ready for us to drop the link, drop the link in the chat. So boom, I want to pass this to you, bro, because I'm about to drop this link. And I want to make sure they're ready. I'm going to give them like 2 minutes. I'm going to give them like 2 minutes to get their card. If they got to transfer something from their savings to the check-in, if they got to make any phone calls, whatever they need to do, we're about to drop this link in 2 minutes for them to join us for only $397. But what we're going to do is for the next 10 people, you're going to also get $100 off. So it's going to be a code when we drop that link. The code word is legacy, and you're going to get $100 off. So for the next 10 people, it'll be $297.
I wanna say 2, 3 things. So one, someone said, dang, only $397, no extra cost. The extra cost is the cost that you're gonna incur by not doing this. What's gonna happen if you don't do this? What's gonna happen? I made a post earlier on Instagram. I'm not saying this is specific to you, but I'm talking to everybody in general. I made a post earlier and I said that whether you realize it or not, your kids or your grandkids are gonna ask you that question. It's a hard question. Why we don't have assets like them? So that's what you have to go ahead and ask yourself is like, okay, what is it going to cost me by not doing this? How much is it going to cost me by not doing this? Is it going to cost me a $300,000 that I could have had? Is it going to cost me $1 million policy that I could have had? Is it going to cost me extra cash flow every single month that I could have had? That's the actual cost. But to be super clear, it's only $397 plus you're going to be able to get $100 off on top of that. But what I want to go ahead and do is the second thing is I want to give every single person access to my real estate fundamentals course. That is a $1,000 course. Everybody on here is going to be able to get that for free as an addition to your ticket. So that way you guys can start working on this stuff tonight or tomorrow morning while you're going to work. You guys can listen. It's going to show you how to find property, analyze the deals, work with the contractors, get the funding, everything in between, flip or rent that property. The second thing I want to give you guys is access to my 100K in credit ebook. It's literally a list of banks that I personally have credit cards with, so you guys can go ahead and know where to, and I'm not one of those guys where I just went to Google and I went to credit boards and all that stuff. No, I got an inquiry on these banks. I went ahead and saw where they pulled from. I went and talked to the reps. I know exactly what's going on these specific banks. You guys want to get access to this. And then on top of this, I had to pull some strings, man. I had to really pull some strings. I had to beg this guy to do it, but Ramel got his financial advisor, which is this guy's a genius. Like he's probably one. I thought Ramel was smart. This guy's a genius. He on a whole nother level. I got him to be able to come in and talk to you guys. So Ramel, I'm gonna let you go ahead and explain it. But really quickly, comment ready if you like. I heard enough. It's a little bit more, but comment ready if you guys heard enough. Like, look, just drop the damn link. I just need to be a part of this.
Yeah, they said
ready to care if you guys did that. And I'm gonna be clear. Ramel's being nice. I'm gonna be clear. This is not for everybody.
Yeah.
It's just not. It's not for everybody. These are people that are serious about making money now and making money long term. If you're not on that, this is not for you, and it's perfectly fine. But if you someone that's like, look, I'm really ready to go ahead and make change. Like I showed you guys back in 2016, where I was fed up. I was serious about making change. If you on that type of time, then this is for you. But if you're not, it's perfectly fine. You curious, you're not serious, but you are serious. This is what's going to be that last piece of information you want to need before everything starts clicking for you. So Ramel, you can go ahead and explain that little thing I was able to squeeze in real quick.
So let's drop the link real quick. Let's do a little countdown real quick, man. They said they ready. They don't want to hear nothing else. They said they ready. So let's do a countdown, all right? In 5, 4,
4, 3,
3, 2,
2, 1.
1. Drop the link, drop the link,
And
drop
as
the
soon as
link,
you
drop the
guys go ahead and
link.
get your spot, comment, I'm in. I want to personally congratulate you guys. I want to keep a specific head count and put a name with a face so I know who's going to be in the program, who's going to be opening up the course I give you guys, who's actually going to be in access to everything.
And look, and again, matter of fact, I'm just gonna explain it why they locking it in spot. Again, type I'm in so we can shout you out. But we made like a major move, and there's a stat that only 15% of African Americans can actually afford a financial advisor. So, Boone was like, yo, listen, we got to make sure we add even more value. How can we really help them strategize? Because this insurance stuff, this finance stuff is not a one size fits all. So I called my personal financial advisor, right, who advises other 7-figure and 8-figure clients, and he's going to come in for 4 Fridays. So you don't got to wait to the actual week. Immediately starting this week, you're going to have a strategy call where you're going to actually be able to have him break down more in detail on your finances, really give you an outline, talk about your 401k, talk about insurance, really understand, okay, cool, this is what your finances look like, this is what your health situation look like, this is what your savings look like. You want a detailed, personalized roadmap. So there's going to be a call for the next 4 Fridays where you're going to have access to that bonus call with a licensed financial advisor, our licensed financial advisor, which is insane. And what I want to do too as another bonus, because you're not going to outgive me, Boone. You're not going to outgive, bro. So this is what we're going to do. I also want to give you 30 days access to my Mogul Elite Club school community. So in that community, we cover so much from building your business, getting access to credit, cleaning your credit, digital products, you name it. But the point of I'm trying to really convey is that we want to move now. Somebody type now in the chat.
Now.
Yes, the 5 days it starts in November, but we need to start now, right? If you want to make sure that you have a better year next year, it starts now. You want to make sure that your children is set when they are grown, or if they are grown already. Well, you late now. You really got to move in faster, and that's what we are here for. So that's the bonus that I want to throw y'all for tapping in with us. So again, type I'm in the chat so we can shout you out and congratulate you for joining us on this wealth experience.
There we go. There we go. I love it. And also, too, if you guys just enjoyed tonight in general, drop a fire emoji in the chat. If you had a great time, if you was like, yo, this was well worth the hour. This was, and think about this. You guys got I'm talking about the stuff Joy was talking about was like alone, your whole legacy is gonna be protected, gonna be set up off of that. She put me on some stuff just from me listening to what she was saying. And then the information I showed you guys, and then the information Ramel was sharing was on a whole nother level as well. So if you guys learn some game just from this alone, imagine what's gonna happen during the week. Like think about that. Like, damn, they gave me this much during this, and I'm able to get this much wealth just from this. Imagine what the actual week would look like. I'm gonna just put CA. Congrats. I don't even know how to. I don't want to mess up your first name. Congratulations, you just locked in a spot. Nartika, congratulations. If you guys lock in a spot, comment I'm in. I personally want to say congrats. I personally want to shout you guys out.
Boom, real quick. Let me show them this real quick because some of them asking like some stuff in the chat. So what you can do also when you go on the site, you can actually finance and get a payment plan. So I'll kind of give you an example really quick on what this looks like. So you're gonna go here, you're gonna sign up, secure your seat, and then it's gonna take you to this next page, right? And on this page, the first thing you're gonna do, you see the coupon code. The coupon code is Legacy to get that $100 off. So you're gonna put Legacy in there. And Legacy, boom, now it brings you down to $297. And then you have Klarna, where you could break that up into 4 payments of as low as $74, which is insane. Or you could do Afterpay and break it up, again, another 4 payments, interest free. So it's multiple ways for you to get in here. And I'm gonna be honest, like me, I'm just swiping the card. I'm focused on the payoff. Too many times we focused on the price. Oh, what's the price? $397. Oh, what is it going to cost me? No, we need to be worried about what is it going to cost you if you don't do this. And we need to change from having a consumer mindset. Because you know what's crazy, Joy and Boone, you know what's crazy? There was a stat that came out. It was like in the African American community, we have a 3 trillion spending power, which is insane. $3 trillion in spending as consumers, but not as producers. Somebody type producer in the chat. It's time for us to produce assets, produce income for our children. And not only myself, Joy Boone, we have some special guests of the 7-figure business owners. Dana Christian is going to be in here breaking down business funding and showing us how she's been able to access capital and be able to invest in Section 8 properties. We also have Stormy Banks, who's the best in the business when it comes to winning grants. So she's here. We got Lindsay Smith, who's also an expert when it comes to insurance and becoming your own bank, and a lot more. Somebody type more in the chat. This is just really what's here. That's why we said it's an accelerated mentorship week, because it's a full week long. And I want to say this too, really quick, and I want to pass to you, Joy, if you want to say any few things, but I want to make this clear. This is not just another mentorship. This is not another 5-day challenge. This is not another summit. Like, this is not that. This is an opportunity for you to truly get wealth building principles that they did not tell us and they kept out of our school systems, right? This is you being a private client. Somebody type client in the chat. It's like when you go to the bank and they say, no, listen, you go over here on this line because you're a preferred client. Like, we not online
VIP.
with the customer. We VIP.
Premium.
That's what we talking about. So I just wanted to add that in and just so everybody know, but I'm gonna pass it back to y'all.
Oh, Joy, before you say, I just want to answer this one question. Somebody said, do you get the recording? Every single day will be recorded, and you'll be able to watch those recordings. So if you had to work a double, I would call out. But if you had to work a double on Tuesday, for whatever reason, you will be able to get the recording so you can go ahead and catch up. You can watch, and you can, even if you made all the days, you will be able to watch the recordings even after that. So sometimes we need to watch things 2 times, 3 times. You will be able to get access to that. And yes, this applies in California. This applies in all the states. This isn't just a Philadelphia thing. This just isn't a New York thing. This is just isn't a Houston, Florida. This is applies to all across the nation. Well, go ahead, Joe. Somebody asked that twice. So I want to make sure they didn't get missed.
Before I start, congratulations to Tasha. Tasha locked in.
Congrats, Tasha.
So, for all the moms and dads, I know one thing for me is I want to make sure that if something or when something happens to me, that my son is taken care of, right? Because my mom is the bomb.gov, I mean the bomb.com grandma, but as far as earning potential, it's a little different. So you're going to be learning these 5 days, different tools that you can use that upon your death your kid can still stay in the house, in the school where their friends are, in the neighborhood, where they are accustomed to living, so that when you pass, your your loved ones don't have to just mourn you and have to lose their entire sense of living, right? So having things in place to where if I'm done, I at least know the house can get paid off, my spouse or my kids will be good. I have a little college fund set up for them, so that I know the goals and dreams that we all had will still go into play if something were to happen to me before my time. So that is so important. Number 2, understanding what is it that you need. How do I make sure that my loved ones get my answers? What are all the I's that I need to dot, all the T's that need to be crossed? That is imperative so that we know we are working hard to acquire this wealth. We don't want to die and then lose everything. And then our kids are still having to get out the mud, still having, to struggle, just to make ends meet when we are doing all this now. We're doing all this leg work now. Boone's busting his behind. Lil Man got a lemonade stand. He got a business and he has a house, right? But we want to make sure that he can keep the house if Boone passes. And I know we don't want to talk about death and we don't want to think about that, but the reality is we're not going to all be here. And so when we are not here, are your loved ones set up for success? And that is key. And that is what's missing in our community. There is no passing down so that our kids are not having to start from home base. they're starting from third base, right? They're already having a leg up in life. And if we keep passing down different building blocks, our legacy keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And that is what I feel has been missing, especially in our community. And that is the bridge that we are trying to fill. And you don't have to be a millionaire. You don't have to have all this upfront money. A lot of times we think, I can't afford life insurance. For less than a Starbucks cup of coffee a day, you can have $1 million policy.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to have a lot of money in the bank right now. All you have to have is have the grit and the drive that I'm going to invest in myself to make sure that I understand what I need to have in place. So when something happens to me, my kids are set. My grandkids are good. My niece and nephew are not going to have to struggle. My wife or my husband can stay in the house. My kids can stay in the private school. I want to just keep how they're living now. Just keep it the same. Because what happens when the breadwinner dies, life changes drastically for everyone. And so learning what you need to have and how you can acquire wealth without having a lot of money, they are not teaching this in college. I've been to school, I've been to private school, I've been to college, I've been to law school. They're not teaching this.
Mm-hmm.
So we are really teaching things that they are not being taught. The game is to be sold, not told. It's being taught in back rooms. It's being passed on from different generations of people who already have generational wealth. Our community is just missing this. So what you're going to be getting is you're going to be basically getting the school of how do I make sure that my legacy has a better life than what I have.
Yo, I wanna that was powerful, and I want y'all to really understand it. And I love what we're doing. It really hits me so hard because I'm on the other side as I see this every single day. We're just on a podcast, and I kind of got like not emotional part, but I kind of got frustrated because it's like, yo, I literally go through this daily. So one of the business that we have is an events-based business, and people literally come to the business, and then we charge $1,000 for a 6-hour rental. They're literally piecing together $500, $400, $600, $300 to come up to go ahead and pay for a 4 or 5 hour event, for a baby shower, a gender reveal party, a first birthday party. Like, but then they don't have enough money to be able to make sure they have a life insurance policy for their kids, or they don't have nothing into the kids' savings account. The kids don't even have an account. And I'm not coming at anybody specifically, but what I'm saying is like I see this every single day. So it hits me a little bit different because I'm literally on the other end. Like I'm tired of taking your money. Like, cause I know you could put it. Let's be honest. It's literally people that come to my event space, and I'll be like, "Yo, listen, we just can't take your money. You're scraping together. Some people paying in quarters. This, like, no, like you need to be putting that somewhere else." Comment, understand if you guys understand it. You need to be putting that somewhere else. And I want to share something with you guys, right? And also comment, I'm in if you guys just got your spot. But this is important. I'm talking about super duper important. I want to share something with you guys, right? So this is you right here, right? This is you. And this is the road you're taking to work. You're taking your life, what you've been doing for year after year after year, right? Everybody put the same in the chat. Everybody put the same in the chat. This is the route you're taking. And for a lot of you guys, you know this route you take to work, to life, to home. You know this so well. You know where the potholes at are at home. You know how long the light going to be. You know every single specific thing about this route in your life. But the thing about it is, you know what's at the end of this. You know what that destination look like. And you know this so well. But every single year, see, the thing is, we have to remember the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. You're doing the same route, the same strategy, the same job, the same play, and you know what ends on this. But for some strange reason, a lot of you guys, and comment me if that was you, you just said 2026 is that year. Let's be honest. Comment 2026 if you said that. 2026 is going to be that year. 2026, I'm going to buy my son a house, my daughter a house. I'm going to make all this money. I'm going to do all this wealth building. I'm going to make sure everything is set. But for a lot of you guys, y'all already have on schedule to take that route. Did it work in 2025? Did it work in 2024? Did it work in 2023? Did it work in 2022? At some point, you have to say, look, let me just try this over here and see what this looks like down here. I already know what this looks like. I've been doing it for the last 5 or 10 years. Comment same in the chat if you know what I'm talking about. Y'all been taking the same route for the last 5 or 10 years. Some of y'all the last 20, and not too much has changed. So at this point, let me at least try something different. Let me go ahead and see what it looks like on this other route, because I'm seeing people like Ramel doing, I'm seeing people like Derek doing, I'm seeing people like Joy doing, and I'm seeing what's happening. I'm seeing how quick it is happening. I just told you guys, 2016, I was in a work uniform in the basement. 2025, we got millions. I'm telling you guys, it's a night and day. The only thing I did was I said, look, let me try a different route. And the thing about this, at one point, if you don't like it, you can just go ahead and Philly, we call it a Yui. You can just bust a Yui. You can go ahead and make a U-turn. Let me go back to my other strategy. Let me go ahead and make this U-turn and go back to what I know, because this clearly, you worried about $297, like it's really going to stop something. Let's be honest. That ain't going to stop too much. That ain't, maybe you might not be able to go to Roof Chris tomorrow night. At worst case scenario, but that's really not going to stop too much. But I need you guys to go ahead and understand. It's like what the gentleman said earlier. Like, what is it going to cost me? What is it going to cost you if you don't do this? Everybody understand it? So again, we're gonna close this up at 8:30.
Let me jump in there.
5 minutes. So comment I'm in if you guys got your spot, and then Ramel, go ahead.
Yeah, I want to just address some stuff that I'm seeing in the comments. So I want to address some things, and I want to ask some questions. Somebody say, is the info self-study available for the members for how long? So when you join it as a bonus, right, you're going to have these Financial Friday calls, which is with a licensed financial advisor, and that is a live experience, right? In addition to that, Boone is giving you his program, his course, that self-study that you can go in on your own time and be able to go and watch the material and execute. And then I'm also giving you access to my community. Now, this is all prior to the Accelerated Mentorship Week, because we want to make sure that we give you a head start. But during the 5 days, like that's the biggest week, November 9th to the 14th, that is you want to make sure you put your PTO in. Like if you got a day job, this is the time to go submit that letter and say, look, this is the week I'm going to be off, because that week is going to be a full week of live trainings, right? So you're going to get a combination of both. I want to make sure I address that, right? And then I seen some people also in the chat asking, you don't catch on to financial literacy as quick, right? That is the reason why we're doing this week, because we think that this stuff is so complex, right? When we think about insurance, like Joy just said, for a cup of coffee per day, you can get $1 million policy. Somebody type 1 in the chat if you actually knew that. Put a 2 in the chat if you did not know that literally for a cup of Starbucks every single day, you can get $1 million policy. So our goal is to take all of these complex ideas that we thought that wasn't possible for us to make it a possible and make it accessible for us every single day. And I seen somebody add, I know I need the change, when Boone was breaking down the different routes that you can take. If you know you need the change and you said you needed to work, it won't work unless you work. I'm just be honest with you. Like you gotta work. Like Joy works. Boone works. I work. The system that we've been able to build is proven, but you have to work the system. And I say this all the time to my team. I said, look, if you want to be able to go out there and shop without looking at the tag, you got to be able to work without looking at the clock. You want to be able to pass down assets to your family. You want to be able to build wealth for your family. Well, you got to be able to invest and not worry about what's going to cost you. I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about the payoff. I'm worried about, look, I want everybody to really think about this. 5 days of 3 individuals from different walks of life. Joy is not just another person online. She's a business attorney. Been in business for 10, 20 years. She done seen every part of business, the ups and the downs. So when you're paying to invest to learn from us, it's not just about what we know, it's about the things that we did wrong. So you don't got to make that same mistake. Boone is not just another person online. He's showing you real receipts, how he's buying his son properties in real time. So I want you to understand that we're here because we want to make it more accessible. We want to give you that opportunity. And I want to say this last piece, right? Because we're about to close up, right? There's some of you on this call that may have the money. It's not even a situation where I got to scrape and pull this. Some of us may have the money, right? You got money in your 401k, you own a home. Some of us is just comfortable. But that's the problem. Because if we are comfortable, then we are sitting in a spot where we're not growing. And if you are not growing, then you are actually what? You are dying. And that's just the truth. So I want to make sure that no matter where you are on your journey, whether you somebody starting out or whether you somebody that been at a career job for 20 years and you looking to retire, but you know that you're nervous about retirement because you don't have a financial foundation in place to live off of half of your income. You don't have it, right? So these are the things that we want to share with you. How do you really understand your 401k? How do you really understand insurance? How do you really understand getting into ownership with limiting your risks? Does that make sense? Does that make sense? I want to make sure we're good. So one more time, as we closing up, type I'm in the chat. I don't care if you purchased 10 minutes ago, 20 minutes ago. I want to shout every single person out because this is a big deal. Myself, Boom, Joy, we said we're on a mission to help 1,000 families add $300,000 in asset value by December 31st of this year. Not next year, this year. So let's see. Let's shout them out in the chat. Charmaine, congratulations. Levi, congratulations. Thomas, congratulations. Simone, congratulations. What he said, my 401k depleted, but I will replenish in December. Listen, we tapping, we gonna help you move around that. Albert, congratulations. Who is it? Nautica, congratulations. There we go. There we go. There we go. So if you feel like you need like 5 more minutes, you get in your car.
No, 2.
2 minutes?
2.
All right.
5 is 2. You need 2 more minutes, comment 2. I'm big on you give somebody 10 months to do something, they're gonna take 10 months. You give somebody, I literally have mentees that buy houses in 30 days. Then I have people I say, you take a year, you can figure it out. They take a year to do it. The people I give them 30 days to do it, they accomplish that crap in 30 days. The people I give 60 days to do it, they accomplish in 60 days. Look, listen, if you need 2 more minutes, comment 2 in the chat. If you need 2 more minutes, comment 2 in the chat, and then we're going to be, if not, we're going to be closing this thing up. But we are putting you guys on this 90-day frame, and we're giving you the tools, we give you the resources, we're giving you the financial planner. We're giving you guys the powers, we give you guys the games, we're giving you guys the strategy, we give you guys a formula. It is not going to take 6 months. It's not going to take 12 months. It's not going to take 6 years. These things are 100% possible and doable. We're showing you guys the receipts. We're showing you guys how to get it done. Sandra said 2. Okay, we're going to go ahead and hold off 2 more minutes. But I need you guys to go ahead and lock in and do this for not just for you, but for everybody else that's attached to you, attached to that last name.
Can I ask them a question really quick? I want to know, I forgot to ask this question. I want to know, what do you actually need support with? Let me know in the chat. Like, what is the biggest pain point that you have? What have you been struggling with? What's the missing piece that you feel like this right here is what I'm looking for, and that's what's going to help me get the results that I'm looking for? Let me know in the chat. And drop the link.
Drop the link again. Like 3 people asked for the link again. They like, hold that 2 minutes. Hold up.
Yeah, I want to know though. Like, let us know in the chat so we can have this conversation in the next, for this 1 minute. What's really holding you back?
You're saying gaining financial freedom, funding knowledge.
Okay, gaining financial freedom.
I want to pinpoint something too when you're done talking, bro.
You go.
The one thing I do want to add into, how many people in here have a 680 credit score or higher? Somebody, how many people in here? Just comment me. I don't care if it's 800, 750. Just if you have a 680 credit score or higher, I want to pinpoint this. Because a lot of we're talking about, utilizing $1,000, $2,000 to go ahead and set up your life insurance policy. We're talking about trust. We're talking about buying assets, putting $8 grand, $9 grand down on a property. I want to make this clear. You can utilize funding to go ahead and fund these things. You can utilize a credit card. You can utilize a line of credit to go ahead and buy your property. You can utilize these type of funds to go ahead and set up your life insurance policy. You can go ahead and pay for your trust on a credit. You can do these things off of funding. We already mentioned that we have Dana. She's going to be there and talk about how you guys can get access to $50,000 to $100,000 in funding during this week. Everybody put during in the chat. I'm
Mhm.
talking about this is not our first time running something like this. We have literally seen people get access to tens of thousands of dollars of funding on the call. Not next month. I'm talking about on the call. So if you're someone like, look, listen, I don't have $100,000 sitting, but you have some type of credit, you have some type of resources, we can get you situated like literally during the call. So I wanted to make sure that clear because we didn't really talk too much about credit. I know some people thinking like, oh, credit's not, we don't use credit at all. Yes, we utilize, we leverage credit as well, but we want to make sure you guys understand the foundation of everything before we start talking about all the credit stuff. But that is something that we're going to be diving in during the week, how to utilize it, how to get access to it, and how to put the whole thing together. Drop a fire emoji, you guys want to enjoy that part. Well, go ahead, Mo. Cause I know credits that they love that. They love that credit.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna tell you what y'all really like need to hear, not what we want to hear. Like, yes, we're gonna cover the funding, as you can see, it's part of our curriculum. That's what we do. But like credit, it could be the best thing in your life, or it could be the worst thing in your life. That's just
Hmm.
a fact. It can be the best thing in your life if you have a strategy, like Boone just talked about, taking that credit to go invest and buy properties or buy businesses, create some type of cash flow. Right? It could be the best thing in your life, or it could be the worst thing in your life if we focused on going to get debt and we have no true proven plan to be able to turn that debt into cash flow. So that's why, again, yes, we're going to cover these things, but we're talking about structuring your business properly. That's something you need to get funded. We're talking about estate planning. We're talking about insurance. And I don't even want to go all in detail in it, but during the week that we have, right, we have multiple students who are able to pay off $50,000 of credit card debt. Type me in the chat if you're struggling with credit card debt right now. We got multiple students through the strategies that we teach on how to be able to leverage insurance again to accelerate paying off your debt. Like it's just a whole other conversation. But again, you got to get in the room. It's not something that we could just teach you in 90 minutes. This is something that we need your complete undivided attention for a full week, dedicated to this process, y'all. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have right there. Like I ain't really got nothing else for that. I was trying to see if anybody else had anything. What he said? I'm currently going through a personal bankruptcy. Um, so Boom, I want you to talk to that, Boom. So this person's
Uh,
going through a bankruptcy, and basically they can't take out no loans, obviously, because of bankruptcy. But what ways around that would you advise from an investing standpoint without having the opportunity to go get loans?
so first and foremost, you need to get your LLC. That's out the gate. You need to separate yourself. First and foremost, you need to get an LLC. You can get an LLC for a couple $100, $200, $300, if that. That's the first thing you need to do. The second thing you need to do is you need to go ahead, and this is one of the things I'm gonna be talking about during the week. And they keep saying 5 days, it's really 7. It's 2 bonus days. I'm not even gonna hold that from y'all. The second thing that you need to go ahead and do is, which I'm gonna show you guys, is how to find discounted properties. There's 3 strategies we utilize to find properties, like I just found for my son, where we're getting this stuff at a discount. And now at this point, right, everybody put equity in the chat. So equity is that gap from what you owe and how much it's worth. What you owe and how much it's worth. But what we're doing, we're finding these properties at a discount. So let's say the house is worth 200, but I'm buying it for 120. There's about $80,000 in equity. What we're utilizing that equity to help cover some of the costs that we would need to acquire the property. Now, this is going to go over a lot of people's heads, but we're utilizing these strategies and that equity where we're not having to worry about getting all these different types of loans the traditional way. We're utilizing local lenders, private lenders, and local money to go ahead and fund these deals where they're not worried about this, especially because you're doing this in an LLC. They're not worried about all these bankruptcies and things that you're going through right now because they're worried about the asset. Is everybody put asset based? It's called asset-based lending. Asset-based lending. They're lending off of the asset. They care about the asset. What is the asset doing? 90% of them not even asking you no deep questions about bankruptcy. They care about the asset. What is the asset going to do? Is the asset going to make money? Is there some value in the asset? Is some equity in the asset? What exactly is that looking like? That's how you can go ahead and literally flip your way out of your situation on the side.
Yo, boom, boom, real quick. Let me say this real quick. I wanna get him a little bit more. And we talked about this, but I totally forgot. And this
Hmm.
guy reminded me because he's asking about a full week, like for this full week of mentorship. Is there any additional programs and all that stuff? Like, this is what we want to do for the people that do lock in with us, right? Yes, we're gonna have a full week of mentorship, but we want to actually meet you in person. We want to meet you in person. So what we're gonna do, and this is like, I
This is
mean,
just getting out of hand at this point.
this is crazy. This is crazy. So for everybody that does lock in, we about to jump over in 1 minute. We're gonna give you a free admission ticket to our in-person live podcast experience and networking event. So
VIP ticket.
we're gonna give you a free VIP ticket. So you're gonna get the opportunity to meet myself, Boone, and Joy in person. And we're gonna be doing a live podcast, networking, other real estate investors, bankers. It's gonna be an amazing time because we want to meet you in person because this stuff is like, yeah, like a lot of people on social media, but it's one thing to really be outside. So we're gonna be able to show you what we really do in real time. So for those of you that's asking, we want to give you that, but you gotta lock in, y'all. So that's just another bonus. So again, type I'm in the chat if you are in. Type I'm in the chat if you are. Somebody keep asking they need help to get in. Team, can y'all drop an email in the
Team, can
chat?
you help iPhone 8 and iPhone 8 and Sandra, please? In this event, you guys gonna get VIP access, so you're gonna be able to sit with us backstage. We're gonna have food, we're gonna have everything for you guys so you can build
Oh,
and
whoa, whoa,
connect.
whoa. Backstage,
Mm,
backstage. Whoa, whoa, whoa,
backstage.
whoa, whoa,
You
whoa,
already put it out there, might as well keep going.
whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, whoa. That's crazy. That is crazy. Listen, I don't listen. They already know what they need to do. They already know what
I'll show you
they
how
want.
we set it up.
There we
It's
go.
in person. It is in person. Look, say this again. It is in person. You guys want to come meet and touch, shake hands, give hugs. It is in person. And every single person that has their ticket is going to be in Philadelphia. Every person that has their ticket, you're going to get a VIP experience spot to go ahead and watch the live podcast, build with us backstage, and just be in the presence of everything we have going on. Be able to ask your fireside questions. So look, y'all, we gotta go. If you guys got your spot, comment I'm in. If you just recently got your spot, comment I'm in. If you guys need assistance, drop I need help, and the team can go ahead and help you guys, or send an email to support@wealthychildchallenge.com. Again, our goal is to help 1,000 families add an additional 300,000 in assets to the name before 2026. So December 31st, that is our goal. This is our mission, but we need you to help. We need you guys to help us accomplish that mission. We're going to be giving it again. We're going to put everything together, but if you don't come to the room where we're sharing the game, we can't accomplish our goal. So let us help you. Help us by helping you. All right. So look, let's go, y'all. I'm gonna see you guys later. Comment I'm in if you just got your spot. And again, send an email to support@wealthychildchallenge.com. And it's time to go ahead and make some things happen, y'all.
All right, bet we're gonna see you on the other side. Congratulations. One more time. Type I'm in the chat. Congratulations to everybody. We will see y'all on the other side in our in-person event in Philadelphia. Joy Boone, I see y'all.
Let's go, Simone.
I see y'all. All right, let's get it, y'all. We out of here.
Good night.
And Mo, keep